All right, we think the sound is good and we think that it's coming in okay.
But I can't see comments unless I switch over.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, no more comments.
All right.
And then I have to switch back.
All right. Still got a minute to go. If anybody's listening and you could put a comment in the comments, we will look at them, hopefully. We'll be able to see them somewhere out there.
We'll say hi.
Yeah, and we'll try and say hi, and we can... Okay. I like that.
Okay, but I'm not seeing comments unless I go like so, right?
But you don't want to do that unless I'm ready to do it.
David Cross, hello. He says he's ready to learn something. So are we.
Yeah, do you think we can do that? Well, it is. It's 2 o'clock Eastern Time, and it's time for the Geeks on Tour. What does this button do? It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets with the Geeks on Tour, and that's us. Hi, I'm Jim, and together with my wife, Chris, we're Geeks on Tour. Do you think that your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your smartphones and tablets, your Androids or iPads? And how do you learn about these amazing devices?
We are geeks who teach. We're into lifelong learning ourselves, and we love helping others learn technology along the way. Our website, geeksontour.com, has hundreds of tutorial videos on several topics that we teach.
Okay. So, right now we're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and we've been back a week now, a whole week.
A whole week. How many videos have you uploaded to YouTube, Jim?
I don't think I have any of them finished and uploaded yet, but I'm working on it. I do have the videos edited, and now I'm just having to put them all together, and I have to put narration. And the hardest part is to cut them all down, is to making them small enough to fit within a few minutes, because I don't want to bore them all to death.
And music takes the longest part, in my opinion.
Right, it sure does. But the way we do this show is we'll have a beginner's lesson, and Chris has one prepared with something that we think is important for beginners to know about their smartphones. And we'll start with the iPad, and we'll show Android here too. And then we'll do a app of the week. This week we're doing Call Confirm. Now, we did have a special guest invited for the show, Phil May. I hope you're watching. But Phil got stuck in an airport in Charlotte and couldn't make it back to Charleston where he was supposed to be. So there's been a whole lot of problems with poor Phil. He was at a rally.
We'll get him one of these days.
We'll get him, and hopefully we'll get Tracy in here too.
Yeah, and maybe even Allie. That would be fun.
Oh, we'll have the whole Techno RV group.
That would
be great.
Family, yeah.
Okay. So I'll do the app of the week. Then we'll take your questions. If you post your questions as comments below the show screen, either on Google Plus or on the YouTube page there, we'll try to get to them live in the show. The show will be recorded and available for viewing later on YouTube with all of the videos.
Thank you for your comments, Michael Dorsey and Bill DeLucia. We got the sound right this time.
Well, don't get used to it. We'll have some echo going on somewhere in here.
We've been practicing.
Yeah, it's not been easy, but we're working on it. Okay, Chris, let's see. We do want to talk about updates to our previous shows.
Yeah, we taught airplane mode last week.
Right.
And obviously we know about airplane mode, but under the heading of teaching you teaches me, I really noticed how often I used airplane mode this week. You know, teaching it on our Sunday show just brought it to the front of my mind. So when I had to go to a doctor's appointment and saw the big sign that said turn cell phones off, I said, no, I don't want to turn my cell phone off. How do I know what time it is if I turn my phone off? So I just did the little shortcut, turned into airplane mode. Also, when else? I told you about these things. When else did I? Oh, we went to a concert.
Oh, right.
We went to a concert. We saw Hayward.
Justin
Hayward from the Moody Blues. Oh, it was great. And you, of course,
somebody, I don't know who.
You, of course, don't want to have your phone on during a concert or doing a movie. But I wanted to take pictures of the concert. Easy. I just put it into airplane mode. So if you watch every Sunday, even though you know some of this stuff, you're going to get to use your phone better. And that was episode 16 from last week that we covered airplane mode. You could go review that on our website if you want. Also, the iOS 8 updates. I found that my iPad, a couple of apps on my iPad were crashing. I mean, I'd be using them and poof, they'd just disappear. I'd be back at the home screen. I'm sure it has something to do with the iOS update, but the solution was there wasn't an update to the app. It was Dropbox.
Okay.
My iOS Dropbox app on my iPad was just crashing. And a couple days later, I looked and saw, aha, there's an update to the Dropbox app, and that fixed it. So the updates was another episode that we recommend you go and review.
Well, that's great. Okay, so you should have that queued up over there.
Okay.
Should we try that?
Yes. So what we did, we pre-recorded our there's that.
Okay, gotta laugh. I can't get any Wi-Fi on this thing. How are you supposed to read a book if you can't get Wi-Fi these days?
I've heard some parents talk about literally their kids having a book and trying to tap on things and say, why doesn't it work? So that's the age we live in now. Okay. So we pre-recorded our beginner's lesson this week, so here you go. It's on photo editing. You know, you really don't have to transfer your pictures to the computer anymore. Here we're going to show you how to do photo editing on an iPad.
Right.
Oh, we have to. Upper left that says edit. So what does this button do? I'm using an iPad right now. This is on iOS 8.1. And I want to show you just a little bit about editing photos right on the device. You do not have to transfer them to a computer to edit them anymore. I want you to ask, what does this button do? That's the photos. And here's a photo that I took earlier this morning. It's just of a still life in the backyard. And there is a button in the upper left that says edit. So what does this button do? These are things that you would normally have had to go to a computer for, but you know something, computers are going away. It's these mobile devices that are in our hands all the time. So there's a couple things I want to do. Just notice this is a little crooked. It's a little crooked, and I really like the apples and the pecans, and I want to make that a banner for a website or an article or something. So I want to crop it, and I want to make the apples more red. So this is how you do it. The button's down at the bottom here, and there isn't one that actually looks like straighten, but if you tap on the crop button, then you get this dial here, and you just grab the little pointer and you can spin it one way or the other and get it straight. So I can get the slats of the fence to line up with the vertical bar. That looks pretty good. And notice the whole picture reorganizes itself based on that. Okay? The next thing I want to do is to actually crop it. So notice that there are these little points on every corner, the little heavy white lines. You just tap and drag there to drag an outline of the picture you want to keep. And that's what I want. And I don't even have to click done, it just does it. And lastly, I want to change the color a little bit. I want to brighten it up. So first of all, there's this little magic wand, which does an automatic enhance. But if you want to do even more, there's this light bulb-like thing. And then you have choices of light, color, or black and white. And I just want color. I tap on color. Now here's where it's somewhat unintuitive in my opinion. You do not drag that line left and right. You drag what's underneath it. So you can see that now I'm all the way as bright colored as it can get. Now I'm all the way as low colored as it can get. So bright color, no color. Put it to where you want it, and when you're done, you tap done.
That's it.
Now I want to explain what's happened to it. It saves your edited picture. So if you look in your albums, or just in your all photos, you see the edited picture. But what if you say, oh, no, you know, that really is stupid. I want the trees and everything. All you have to do is go back in, tap on edit again, and then you will see an option to revert. Revert to original will remove all edits made to this photo, and this cannot be undone. That's fine. Revert to original. And now I'm back as if I never touched it. And that is the iPad using iOS 8.1. Now this works the same on a phone, on an iPhone, as long as you have iOS 8.1. There were some editing features in previous versions of iOS, but this one is taking it to the next level. Okay, so, now they're hearing me on this one. Okay. So what do you think, guys? Anybody out there, write a couple of questions or comments if you've ever used the photo editing on the iPad. And now I'm going to show you the editing on the Android. So this means pictures that you've taken on your iPad or you've taken on your Android, you can edit them right in the device. I'm here with a Samsung Galaxy S5, and I want to show you a little bit about editing pictures right on your device. You no longer have to transfer them to a computer to do that. Everybody's device is going to be a little bit different, so you're going to have to play around with this. Unless you have a Samsung Galaxy S5, then it'll look just like mine. So I'm talking about my photos in the gallery. I go to gallery, and I took a picture this morning just with the camera, so there it is right there, just out in the backyard, a still life of some apples and pecans. And I want to edit this a little bit. Actually, I want to edit it a lot. I've decided that I just want to take the fruit and nuts and make a banner out of them. So what I want you to do is just keep looking at your screen and asking, what does this button do? So I tap the screen, and I don't see anything that looks like an edit menu. I don't see a little pencil. I don't see the word edit. But I do see these three dots, which usually means some kind of menu. So I tap the three dots, and there is edit. Okay, so at first I want to straighten it. I don't see any option down here for straighten, so you just have to tap and say, well, I wonder what that button does. adjustment has rotate underneath it. Well, okay, that sounds good. If I tapped on one of the specific buttons here, it would rotate like 90 degrees or a specific amount. But you can also just drag the screen. Doesn't tell you that. You have to play around. So that is now straight. Then I also want to crop it, so I'm done with the rotate part. I have to tap the word done at the top. Now I can tap on crop, and I get this tool. If you drag a corner handle, notice it resizes both the height and width, of course, together. But I want it to be wide and not very tall, so I drag the side buttons all the way out, and then I'll drag that top button down and that one, and that's the look I'm going for. So I tap done. And now I want to brighten it up a little bit. So that would be under tone. And you have all sorts of choices here. So there's more than meets the eye. Don't be satisfied with what you first see. Tap and drag around. So I'm looking for saturation. I want the apples to be more red. I tap on saturation, and once again, it doesn't tell you, but if you just drag the picture, it gets brighter. If you drag to the left, it gets duller until it goes all the way black and white. So drag it to where you want it, and tap done. Now that's all the editing I'm going to do with this picture, so I'm ready to save it. I get two choices of quality, and the lower choice is good enough for me. I'm not going to print this. It's just going to be on a web page. Image saved in Studio folder. Now, what's that mean? I'm going to back out here, all the way back out to my library of all of these multiple albums, and notice how the picture from my camera is still the original. None of the edits are there. Well, it said saved in Studio folder, so let's see if we can find a Studio album. There it is, Studio, and there's our edited picture. I also want to show you how this works on my Samsung tablet. So even though this is another Android device, and it's even a Samsung Android device, it works differently. So I tap on Gallery, and I took that same picture with this device this morning, outside with the apples and the bowl of nuts, and I tap on it, and I want to edit it. I look at you have to keep tapping on the picture to make your options appear. I do not see anything that looks like an editing pencil. I don't see the word edit. I don't even see 3 dots. Where's my menu? Well, that's because this device has a dedicated menu. Down by the home button, there are 3 lines. That's the menu key. And there's edit. This one has little hints that come up. I kind of like that. You can learn as you go with this one. I'm going to do a rotate. And same thing, I can drag right on the picture. When I'm done rotating, I can save, but I don't have to. I can just say I'm done rotating, back out of it. Now I want to crop. And it gives me these same handles again. Notice how what's inside the handles is in color and the rest is in black and white. That's kind of cool. Telling you what you're keeping is the stuff that's in color. And that's I'm done. I can say I'm done cropping by backing out of crop. There is my crop picture. And then last, I'm going to tap on color. And look at these choices. Auto adjust. I'll try that. Well, it made it a tiny bit better, but I want more color. Brightness, contrast, saturation, adjust, temperature, exposure, hue. Is there more? Nope. Saturation is what I want. And here we have a nice little slider all the way to the left, just no color at all. Just drag it to where it looks good to you. And now I am ready to save. All right, now how did this device handle that saving? Well, I'll show you. I'm going to back out all the way to the albums. And there is, oh, that's, yeah, there's my camera album. There's my original. There's the edited one, but all just in the camera album. That's kind of nice. So, your turn. Try it out. Okay. So.
Well, that was really cool. I kind of like how that worked.
Okay. Now I need to.
Now our sound should be back on.
To the live sound.
Right.
Yeah, I hear David said that the recording was difficult to hear. I kept upping the volume and upping the volume and upping the volume, and it seems to go down as soon as we're on live, so we'll keep learning. I'll make it double volume so we can hear it. And Michael Dorsey says, Picasa for me. Oh, I definitely agree, but you got to keep looking at what's new, and this is the way a lot of things are going. Just do it all on your mobile devices, and then
on the web,
and all saving in the cloud. Yeah.
Okay.
I think, some people have asked, is Picasa going to go away?
We don't know.
Yeah, we have no idea. But I will say they haven't updated it in 2 years.
Wow.
So I don't think it will disappear, though. They're just not, if you have Picasa, you can keep Picasa, you can keep using it. But what all the publishers want us to do, Apple's new Photos and iCloud looks really good to me. No, I won't become an Apple person. But I do like it. I did not like iCloud before. It was too weird. It was too convoluted. Now they've taken the best of Google Plus, the best of OneDrive.
Okay.
They've learned, and I think iCloud now makes quite a bit of sense the way it handles pictures. Lois Finney asks, how do I print a pic? Oh, you want me to put that up? Let me just see if I can do this. How do I print a pic?
No, you're on screen share. You're not on the...
Oh, so we're on the... Okay. From an iPhone or an iPad. Well, we did that in episode 2, I think. 2 or 3. If you go to our website at geeksontour.com and click on Weekly Show, you'll see the listing of all our shows and a brief description after each one. And one of the early ones, apparently everybody wants to know how to print. Yeah, no, that's where I still use a computer. I don't care to print, but we figured it out because people wanted to know, and we did a video on it, and it's part of one of those first weekly shows. The main thing is it depends on your printer. If you have a new printer with the Apple iPrint, I guess it was, software, then you just print.
Well,
awesome.
Basically all the new printers are mobile aware, so you can get almost any brand new printer, especially the Wi-Fi ones, and as long as you're connected to the same Wi-Fi network in your house or in your rig or however you do it, then you should be able to print just directly and very easily. It'll just show up. There's a little prep that you have to do, and maybe we'll go through that in one of these shows. And then there's other ways you can send it to an email that would be connected to your printer.
Thanks, Michael. He says, how many takes did those clips take? Your live presentations are more fun, warts and all.
Warts? What warts? What are you talking about?
I'll tell you, having to keep track of all that stuff live we are going to have recorded segments. How many takes did those take me yesterday?
Oh, that only took you, what, 2 or 3 days?
I did spend all day on that. Those were several takes, mostly because of sound.
Sound is so important, and we're still working on it. And if anybody has the perfect solution for sound, we'd sure like to hear it.
Sound when you're also doing video. Now, sound just for sound, you get a really good mic, and that works. But
Yeah.
sound when you're also doing video, and
It's crazy.
anyway. But we're still going to do some stuff live. I agree, Michael. Thanks. I really do. It's fun to do the live, and we hope we will continue to get more questions, and we want to have more guests as well. So we're looking forward to having Phil on real soon. If anybody else out there wants to be a guest, contact us on our website and let us know, or put it in the comments here.
Okay.
You ready to do an app of the week, Jim?
I guess I can. Let me see if I can get this.
You're
going to
do that live, right?
I'm going to try doing it live. All I need to do is go over here and do this. And I think it's this one.
So I told Jim to do the Call Confirm app. Now I had more problems with this than he did, so I installed it a while ago. Ever butt dial somebody? Or pocket dial, I think is probably more polite. It blew me away how I would make a phone call and I would hang up. And what I teach people is, if you don't want it to automatically call back, make sure to not only hang up, but hang up, go home, and then turn the screen off, do the sleep thing. And it should not call back. And I swear it still does. So I finally installed this Call Confirm app that Jim's going to show you.
Okay, and the way you get any app is you go to the Play Store. I don't have this one loaded on mine, but I did start to look for it. So you just go to search, and you type in there, Call Confirm app. And so I click on that, and there are a couple of them there, and they're both free. One's from 7-Bit, and the other one is from Vlad Lee. Chris has the one that is from 7-Bit. They both have about the same number of
Yeah, I don't remember why I
downloads.
chose that one, but that is the one that I have been using,
It
so I
was
can
right on top
attest
there, and
to
it
it.
asks whether the call is exactly intended before any Android phone calls. Now, this only works on the Android. It does not work on the iOS. They do have an app out there, but your phone needs to be jailbroken. So, and we don't really recommend people jailbreak their iPhones. It will void your warranty. There's nothing illegal about it, but it does get a little bit geeky. There are some apps out there if you really want to do it. So, and then just touch install. Call Confirm needs access to your contacts and calendar and your phone. Well, why does it need those permissions, Chris?
Yeah, for once, these permissions actually make sense. How is it going to call somebody in your contact list if you don't allow it to have access to your contact list? Now, calendar, I'm not quite sure, but that doesn't bother me. They apparently are linked together in the system.
Okay, so I'm going to accept that. And it'll download and install. Now, this will use your data plan unless you're connected with Wi-Fi, so just know that it's not that big of a deal.
You mean just downloading it?
Downloading it.
Yeah.
Anytime you're
Using it
accessing
doesn't-
it. Right.
Yeah.
So now it gives you all of this information. Call Confirm raises up a dialog before making any calls to assure you of no accidental calling. It asks you to call or cancel. Now, this happens a lot, especially with these phones, because when we hang up from a phone call, instead of getting completely out of the phone app, which is just another app on these wonderful devices, it'll leave it up there. So then sometimes if you're just putting your phone away into your pocket or purse or whatever, you'll be touching buttons and all of a sudden it's going to start calling. So that's what this is all about.
I love it. A little bit of aggravation. I mean, when you intentionally make a call, it means you have an extra step. You do it before it makes the call, it's going to say, "Are you sure?" But for example, also in my Samsung Galaxy S5, if somebody is in my favorites, and I say I tap on their little face to make a call, it just makes the call. It doesn't wait to ask me which phone number I want to use or whether I want to text them instead. So this call confirm stops those as well.
Do you really want to call Chris Gould? I do. So that's call confirm. And if you have a problem with pocket dialing or butt dialing, this would be a nice tool to have there. Anything else about that, Chris?
Nope. Just remember, it is Android only. This is something that Apple just doesn't allow to be done on their phones.
Okay.
We have one more question. Screen share. What do you mean screen? Michael Dorsey says screen share. Were you not seeing?
Okay.
I'm not sure what you mean by screen share.
I'm not sure either.
Okay. We do have another question on here regarding photo editing.
Okay. You have to undo the one first. Or is it there?
I did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to use Picasa on my Android phone. Where is Edit?
Well, first of all, there is no Picasa on your Android phone. I wrote an article about that in our Picasa Geeks website. You may see something in the Play Store that says Picasa, but look closely, it is not Google's Picasa. All that is access to your Picasa web albums. Now Google Plus, just to make it a little more confusing. So what I was demonstrating was just using your gallery. And I was just demonstrating using gallery.
Okay.
Or the camera app. As soon as you take a picture with your phone and you're looking at it in the camera app, you have a little thumbnail, you open up that, and you can edit it right away. So, for example, when we were at the concert the other night, I took a picture. Well, we had pretty good seats.
Yeah, they were nice seats.
But we weren't sitting right in front of them. So I took the picture, and then I wanted to crop it before I uploaded it to Facebook. Easily done, just using the camera app or the gallery app. There's no real Picasa. There's no Picasa app on Android or iPhone. Oh. So he said that he didn't see your phone when you were. See, now that's the live.
Okay. No view of Jim's phone.
Darn. You should have been seeing it. Well, want to just show it again just briefly?
Want to just try it again?
Yeah.
Anybody else have that issue too?
So you were seeing it, but you weren't screen sharing, huh?
Right. So I have to get that up. I have to screen share there. And screen 2. Make that full screen. It looks like it's full screen there.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks during the whole new app presentation. Oh, thanks, Michael.
All right.
Boy, we even have these, and I did not notice that.
I thought I was seeing it, but I was looking at this.
You're looking at your own computer. Okay.
You're no help at all. Okay. So I'll go through it real quick. We went to the Play Store. We searched for the app, Call Confirm. I went ahead and I installed Call Confirm. And once it's very small, I had to say OK. And that's all. So now, once the Call Confirm app is in there, if I go to make a phone call and say I want to call Chris at that number, it'll come up and say, do you really want to call? So that's really what Call Confirm is all about. And if you're butt dialing, that's what you want to do. Or you don't want to butt dial. You want to have this Call Confirm. Sorry about that. How's that working now?
All right. Hopefully that was better.
Now, if I can get out of here. Yeah. We're back on.
Okay. Now you want me to go back.
Go to the slideshow.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Keep going.
Looks like I don't have the...
Okay. You ready for some... Did you learn something? I know I did. True or false? You must transfer pictures from your phone or tablet to a computer before you can perform edits.
Not true anymore. You can edit right from your phone's gallery or camera app. Most all phones, anyway.
Okay. If you don't see options for editing while looking at a picture, what do you do to make them appear?
That's just tapping the screen, because when your screen is left alone, it makes everything disappear except for the one thing that has the focus. So to bring back those options, you need to just tap the screen. And then find something that's like a menu and tap it to get the menu.
Okay. Well, what does saturation mean, and how do you apply more of it?
Saturation means just more color. Doesn't mean changing the color, just means whatever color is there, add more, saturate it. And it's usually some kind of a slider. What I found on my Android phone, you just tap the picture. Once you've chosen the saturation option, you just scroll your finger right on the picture. Other ones put up a little slider.
Okay. True or false? Once you crop something out of your picture, you can never get it back. True or false?
They're really starting to do a good job at this. That is false. You do not have to worry like we used to way back when with photo editing programs. We used to have to make a copy first. So now you can either undo all your changes or it made a separate copy. On what I demonstrated on the Apple, it allows you to undo changes. There's only one picture, but you can undo. And on the Android, it made an extra copy. I kind of don't like that, but that's how it works.
Okay, these weekly shows are free, and what benefits do I get by joining Geeks on Tour?
Okay, I want to go to our website and show you a little bit of that.
Okay.
So here's our website, geeksontour.com. And number one, we have tons of tutorial videos. So you just click on tutorial videos and you will see all our topics. And several of them are free, meaning anybody can watch. But if you want to be able to view all 364, I think we're up to now, then you need to become a member. And you can become a member at the top of any page on our website. Just a button right there. Now on these weekly shows are just free YouTube videos, and they always will be. However, for each show, we have notes, and those are available just to members. So for example, somebody asked earlier about printing, and I can see from my little descriptions here, doing on it, where, I thought like, kind of earthquake. Oh well, maybe I don't have that in the description. I'm going to have to go back and do that.
Nothing like a little rehearsal here in live.
So let's say that, oh, I know, it's because the earlier ones are down at the bottom.
Ah, yeah, see, there it is.
See, it was number 1 where we did iPad printing.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you click on number 1 with notes, then you'll even be able to read about the iPad printing and click right through Yeah. Well, these are timeline links that take you directly to a place on the YouTube video. And last but definitely not least is our forum. So on our forum, you can ask any question that you want, and unlike most forums, I mean, on this forum we do have a community, and we might get some responses from other people in the community.
Yeah, we do.
But we promise that we will respond to any to any question on the forum. So if you've joined us because you trust our information,
Live long and prosper.
we promise to do that. Okay, so those are the 3 benefits of membership.
Cool.
And if you don't care to pay any money and become a member, still sign up for our free newsletter. That goes out every month, and there's absolutely no charge, and that'll keep you in touch with what we're doing.
I like it. And so, where do we go from here?
Next week.
All right, we'll have a beginner's lesson.
No, I've changed my mind. This is I apparently don't have the latest version up here. We're going to do the swipe keyboard next week.
Okay, and then I'll have an app of the week, or hopefully we'll have our guest on next week. And whoever that guest will be, will have an app, I hope. And we'll take your questions. Watch for the notification for next week's show. And we'll try and make sure that we have this together a little bit better.
Hey, we get better.
We do. I like it.
Kaizen, if anybody's familiar with that. Kaizen, constant improvement. That's our goal and our struggle.
Yeah, you don't have the latest. Just leave it. Please, don't touch.
Don't touch that button.
What is this?
I like touching buttons.
I know.
Especially pressing your buttons.
No,
That's
you
really
can
fun.
press my buttons. Wait a minute. Don't press that button. What are you doing? No. That one?
Yeah. There we go.